Hey, I'm Pops. I'm going to talk about One Piece. Make sure you check out the link in the description of my initial reaction to the first couple episodes. I love the show. I think it's a lot of fun. It's Pirates of the Caribbean. It's Goosebumps and Goonies. And it just, that's not it, though. That's not what really makes it great. What makes it great is the writing is superb. They give us so much character development. They give us backstories. They give us a great flow of action. They give us villains of the week. And then they give us truth bombs and moments of humanity and sacrifice that speaks way beyond the scope of the show. So I'm just going to pick out one of the biggest. And I only do it as big because I want everyone to have sort of like, I don't know, like a big flash one. Let's be honest. It's a little divisive, right? Because in this backstory, what is said is something that you shouldn't be saying. Yeah, according to people, right? This is not what people are allowed to say anymore. Is that there's a difference between men and women in athletics and these types of things because this show does not shy away from that. So this is a sequence in episode 4. That's the backstory of Zoro, and he's younger, he's training, and he's met his match, right? And she wins easily again because he's very headstrong. He's not well disciplined, right? She is, right? And I'm going to leave the volume because we're going to go through this like sections, kind of how this plays out because here. So I can't beat you, just kill me. Like he's so uh, caught up in just kill me. Like I got to be honest, the reaction in this scene, I was like, what on earth? Like it's so extreme. And you weren't really quite sure exactly how this was going to play out next because you know where the character goes. Obviously, you know he doesn't perish. You know what he becomes as far as being this great swordsman. Also, this desire to be the best, right? Very, very Princess Bride in a lot of ways, right? But it keeps going, right? What you get is this fierce determination in her face as she sort of like backs up, sheathes her, and she sheathes her sword, and then she goes on this speech. Don't be an idiot. And I'm like, uh-oh, where are we going with this? Where are we going? And again, this is one of these shows. If you thought that the, purple hair widows or people of color, Asians, black, Hispanic girls, this show has everything. So I don't want to hear about we don't like those things. We like those things when they're done well, right? I don't agree with like all of the morality across the whole show, but I can respect it within the framework of the character that we're going through. So this is the journey. Like he's really been one up by this girl. She's transforming his life with what's about to happen. So she's complimenting him, explaining how talented he is. And we see this in athletics all the time. We see young people with amazing raw skill. Maybe they lack discipline, maybe they lack confidence, maybe they just maybe not have the kind of passion and drive they need to. Okay, hold on. Wait a minute. What do you mean he's going to surpass you? Like what is happening? My little antennas were like, "Meow. What is happening in this show?" And I love his response. Like that's dumb. Like I really love the fact, and this is so true of boys. This is so true of boys, especially between the ages of like 8 and 14. You know, maybe they're not quite in puberty yet, or maybe they're in puberty. They don't understand what's going to be happening. And, um, they're intimidated by girls. They're beaten by girls. They're still short. They haven't had growth spurts. They don't have any muscle mass yet. even if they're athletic or they work out or whatever, they're still more raily than they are muscle. Um, I really related to this, not only as myself, seeing myself in this situation, but also my two boys of like, what? That's kind of dumb. I don't understand what you're trying to get at here. Do. Oh, it's so good. That's nature, she says. And you're like, oh no, she went there. Oh no, she's truth bombing him. Like, oh no, you mean the girls' soccer team, the adult girls' USA soccer team will lose to middle school boys because of biology and genetics and just the way nature works? Oh no. And I've said this before, I've told this story before, I'll say it again. I was in eighth grade. Our basketball team was very, very good. We had a couple of really tall guys. They grew really quick. So we had, like a 6'3" or 6'5". We had a couple of really tall guys, right? But we were very well disciplined. We were really, really, really good in eighth grade. We actually went to the high school and we scrimmaged even or beat the high school girls varsity team. That's who we played against because the coaches were really close friends. And I remember my big takeaway in my memory was how hard they worked to be even with us. Like I just remember very vividly. There's two players in particular. They're tall. They had a tall center, and they had this one guard. She went on to play at Wake Forest. She was very, very talented, and they were working their butts off. And I never, in hindsight, the memory always stuck with me because I always thought to myself, like, man, they're taking this really seriously. That was my response. Not, oh crap, they have to work that hard to be our equals. No, no. I always thought of it as, man, they're passionate about today, man. What, because we weren't bribed with anything. It was our practice for the day. There wasn't anything special to us. It wasn't for me. I actually kind of thought it was kind of demeaning to have to play the girls. I'm like, well, why are we not playing each other or the varsity boys or something? So anyway, back to the show. Man, it's so this is not about liking the show because I like that message. This is about the show not shying away from explaining a character's growth and a character's motivation because that character goes on to mentor the main character and they kind of grow up and they're like best friends. So when tragedy strikes, it hits him really, really hard because she was still willing to be the best that she can be. He can make her better and she's making him better. It was this incredible yin and yang, very much a metaphor for what would be like a really heartfelt relationship. That's what most relationships need to be, is that yin and yang of two people who can complement and push each other exceedingly well at the opposite of strengths and weaknesses, right? And I couldn't believe that a show that's sort of like, TV 14 type show um, takes this little divergence in a backstory and does that. And this is not the only one. When we get Neff's story and what Neff does for that character, I don't want to get into the weeds too much because some of you may not have seen all these, right? But all right, whatever. Sanji's backstory with Neff about the human sacrifice and whatever. And Luffy has a similar story because there's a quick little line about, do you know what it's like to have someone, make this type of sacrifice? And I don't want to spoil it because I want everybody to watch this show. This is probably, if it's not the best show of the year, it is among the top 5 shows of the year, hands down. I tried to watch the anime. I got through episode 1. I know what it was adapted from. I saw the exact scenes that were adapted in this live action show. I think the live action did it better because I think the live action was flushing out important details, allowing for a human connection, whereas the anime is relying on anime tropes and those sort of like over the top emotional reactions and colors and all that. And that's just not my thing. I can't relate to that. I'm a snob when it comes to this I just can't get into that part of anime. Like Castle Calastro,
Cagliostro was fine. It didn't have very much of that. And when it did, it was in action sequences. It made sense, right? But each story in this season has backstories like that. When you get to understand Usopp's backstory, like, and I will admit that I have some negatives I want to get to when I talk about Usopp at some point. But I just loved all of it. And then, of course, Nami's backstory, the culmination of the quote big bad of the season, is so powerful and so good. It is. Oh my gosh. It talk about wanting you to binge the next episode and wanting you to know what happens next. It was so great. It was so well done. I'm so proud of what these people have been able to accomplish. I hope they continue to find success and continue to, figure out how to get another season done. Everyone will stay on board. Everyone will stay very positive about trying to adapt the source material in the same vein of faithfulness and human archetypes of heroism and adventure and all those kinds of things. It was great. Had my issues with it. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the land whale heart pirate. She just looks like she's cosplaying. She's not bad. It's just she doesn't look like she looks like it's almost like it's not that much better than like the Lizzo scene in Star Wars for me, where I'm like, what is happening? She does not look in place. The clown, I hate clowns, but the clown is zany and silly. I actually kind of wish for more of that in some ways. I thought the special effects and CGI, I mean, it's got its issues, but it was fine. Performances, I think, are great. That's what drives the show. It's just great writing, great execution, a lot of fun. So I'm going to talk about it more often. I'm going to try to get through maybe some different. I'm trying to like come up with more like video ideas. It's hard because I don't want to do like there's no way I can do justice to like the whole season. I also don't want to do episodic ones. I've already watched the whole thing and stuff like that. But anyway, that's my take on this. I don't know how you felt about that moment. To me, that is the moment that transcended the whole season. I haven't stopped thinking about that moment. Now, I will say that I kind of want to get to like the Nami twist, because I think that twist is very, very powerful. Like that is crazy to have a character who you are bought in that she's going in a certain direction and what that redemption arc will look like. And then you find out that her entire journey is not even in that direction at all. It's pointed completely different for a completely different type of redemption arc. Fantastically done. Fantastically done. Beautiful. Great stuff. So thanks again for watching, everybody. Take care. I am Pops.